Today's episode of the Bill Simmons Podcast is brought to you by SeatGeek. That is our presenting sponsor. The easiest way to shop for the best tickets thanks to their revolutionary grading system. You can buy and sell tickets in just 2 taps on your phone. Everything fully guaranteed. Right now, you can buy $10 off baseball tickets the first time you use SeatGeek. All you have to do is use promo code BSMLB. Go to SeatGeek, download their app, or go to SeatGeek.com. Get some baseball tickets if it's your first time. BSMLB, $10 off. We're also brought to you by Sock Fancy, the perfect Father's Day gift. Gift your dad the joy of unique, awe-inspiring, and sometimes bizarre socks delivered every single month. Shipping is free all over the world. If you don't like the pair you get, send them back. Swap for a fresh design. Sign your loved one up for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, year-long subscription. Whatever you want, Sock Fancy will handle the rest. Get an extra pair of socks added to any subscription for free when you go to sockfancy.com/BS and enter code BS at checkout. And finally, we're brought to you by Larry Wilmore's new pod, Black in the Air, and Against All Odds with Cousin Sal. Our 2 newest podcasts. We have 2 more podcasts we're going to announce soon. I swear we're not going to have 70 podcasts. We're making all these choices carefully, but we have 2 more that we are going to announce fairly soon. Stay tuned for those. If you missed the BS podcast yesterday, I had Brian Curtis on and Joe House, and we talked about a lot of basketball, Tiger Woods, and we talked about Frank DeFord, who passed away, one of my favorite writers this week. And you can check that out in the archives. Right now we have Ice Cube coming up, and I'm going to give you my NBA Finals pick. First, Pearl Jam. Welcome to the podcast. If you're waiting for Ice Cube, he's coming. We taped it yesterday, actually. I wanted to put my NBA Finals prediction down once and for all. I've looked at it from every angle. Tate's here with me. What's up, Tate?
Hey.
I've looked at it from every angle. This is the appetizer to the Ice Cube dinner entree of a podcast, which was fantastic. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. But initially I thought Warriors in 5. I did not like the way the Cavs defended my Celtics team that had wide open shots the entire series and missed most of them. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a bad sign for the Cavs. Then the backlash started with, well, wait, Cleveland has a chance. Everyone's counting them out. And that whole thing, I got a little caught up in that.
Yep.
And now I think I'm in the right place. Golden State in 6.
Just bumped it up 1 game.
I bumped it up 1 game.
So we're 2015 finals. That's where we are. 6 games and win 6.
I figure LeBron's worth 1 and Kyrie's worth 1.
Yep.
LeBron will be awesome in another game that they won't win. My question is, but debating between 6 or 7, will Mike Brown cost the Warriors a game in this series? But I think these teams know each other so well, and there's a predictability as good as they are with what's going to happen. It's not like Mike Brown is going to be like, oh my God, I never expected this. The Cavs have 7 players who are going to play in this series, maybe 8. Mm-hmm. They are very specific about what they do and how they handle their business. And I'm not positive there's going to be a massive. Can you? What would possibly happen in this series that would be like, wow, it's too bad Steve Kerr wasn't there. Mike Brown couldn't handle it.
I think the only thing that you have to worry about is if someone like a Steph or a Kevin Durant, like if it gets to them, like the insecurity of the moment gets them again. I think Steph had the insecurity happen to him last year when he really got in his head. Durant's back for the first.
He was hurt too.
Yeah, and he was hurt. But if you have one of those moments, I think that's when Kerr really steps in.
Right.
And that's the only thing that I could see.
So my counter to that was they fell apart in the 4th quarter of Game 7 last year, and they had Steve Kerr, and he was there. I see what you're saying, though. So the Steve Kerr and Mike Brown difference, I don't think it's a strategy thing. I think I agree with you on it's a settle down guys thing, and I really think it's even more so a Draymond thing. Because I'm sure the Cavs are going to try to provoke Draymond this entire series.
Yes.
This is part of their game plan. Get him talking, get technicals, get him to do something dumb talk, hit him, bump him, elbow him, get in his face, try to get him out of his game.
Didn't you think last year, like Draymond he was trying to show that he was tough and the Warriors were tough, and now
he's not going to do that as much?
I feel like they don't. What's the point? The whole team has to prove they're tough, right? I feel like Draymond took it on himself. It was an onus on himself to
especially
show that
after Bogut left.
Yeah, he was like, I have to be the tough guy. I have to stay tough in this series.
Yeah.
And then that bit him in the ass last year.
Right.
And now Steph has to show he's tough. Clay has to show he's tough. Durant has to prove that he's worthy of being on this stage again. Like all that toughness has to come from elsewhere. But then again, it's Draymond, so who knows?
I've heard that Durant point made. Are we sure Durant has to prove anything in this series?
Not in my opinion, no.
I just feel like he won the MVP. He made the finals when he was like 23.
Yeah, he seems very content with
his life. He had really bad luck.
Yeah,
he's on one of the great teams ever. I would love to pick 16-0. I think that would have been so much fun to root for, especially if they win the first two. But I think Kyrie is great. He killed my team.
Yep.
I think we were going to win game 4, as crazy as that sounds. Not even playing that well when LeBron got the 4th foul. And Kyrie was just like, I'm going to score all the time, over and over and over again. And I'm going to make really hard shots, even though you're playing defense.
It looked like from the Olympics this summer. That was the scariest thing about Kyrie was they won the title, he hits the big shot, and then they go to the Olympics, and it was like, oh, this guy is like the best scorer on Team USA right now. And he's like kept it up all year.
So they don't really have anyone to guard him, which is a problem.
Yep.
I don't think that LeBron's unguardable when he wants to be. So you're talking about 2 guys in another team who can't be guarded. And then there's certain guys that the Warriors have that just aren't going to play in the series. They're not going to be able to play Zaza. They're not going to be able to play JaVale McGee. I don't think they're going to be able to play David West. I think they're going to have to play like 7 guys.
So who's the one that guards Tristan Thompson? Is it Draymond?
That's
most
the
likely?
thing. It's like, well, all right. So they put Zaza on Tristan Thompson. LeBron calls him over and just runs screens so he can get one-on-one with Zaza. So then what do you do?
He dunks on Zaza.
Yeah. So it's like at any point, if Zaza or David West or JaVale is out there, they're just gonna they always know they can run that screen and roll. Mm-hmm. So on the flip side, the Warriors have the same thing. They're gonna put Love in screen and roll all the time. So if Zaza's in there, then Kevin Love can guard Zaza.
Yep.
And that maybe not get caught up in that. But if when they put the Durant, Draymond, Clay, Curry, and let's say Iguodala as the 5th guy, where's Kevin Love going? Whoever he's guarding, they're going to put in screen roll. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be the most complicated strategy matchup we've had from oh, you're doing this, I'm doing this. Oh, you're going to do, oh, then I'll do this. And neither team has the answer.
So those in-game situations with Mike Brown, that's what I want to see, how much he changes. Because Kerr's traveling with the team. He's going to be making game plans. And going to be like, if LeBron's going to guard Clay or LeBron's going to guard Iguodala to try to hide on defense, we need to get him in these switches and stuff.
Right.
How much does Mike Brown have say in making those changes in game?
Well, and also,
it's like a chess match.
What happens if the Cavs say, we're leaving Iguodala open the whole series?
Exactly.
Knock yourself out. Mm-hmm. Shoot 10 threes a game. We'll give them to you. You'll make 3.
Yeah.
So then that's where you want Steve Kerr to be like, oh, okay, you're going to do that? Then I'm going to have Iguodala running the baseline and trying to get layups and going back there. They have so much movement. And that, I think the most encouraging thing for the Warriors is all the easy shots the Celtics are able to get just by moving versus playing one. And the Cavs are going to slow it down. They're going to try to get into, first of all, if they make shots or they get an offensive rebound and put them in, then the Warriors can't go on the other end.
Yep. Which is Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
If Tristan Thompson dominates the boards.
He's got to dominate.
Yeah. Then that's a whole different situation.
I think the matchups are really nice for the Cavs. I just don't think defensively they're going to be able to get stops. Love is going to have to play for them to win. And Love and Thompson together, there's too many shooters, and they're not going to be able to run out in time. I watched it in the Celtics series.
Do you think Durant ever matches up and just says, I want to guard LeBron? Do you
think he's going to have to?
Yeah. Because obviously 2015, that's why Iguodala wins the MVP is because he guards LeBron. Last year, he seemed like he was a little short, obviously maybe a little bit banged up. He doesn't guard LeBron as well. LeBron takes over. This year, they have instead of Harrison Barnes being the fallback guy, now they have Durant to come over to guard LeBron. And if it's LeBron Durant, that's a whole different. I mean, that's
well,
incredible.
Think about it. If he can play LeBron to a standstill he's going to win the MVP.
Yep.
That's how good LeBron is.
Yes.
It's like Durant played him to a draw. Here's your MVP trophy.
Yeah, you already had the blueprint. Like Iguodala, just by playing defense, he didn't have to. I mean, he hit some big threes and stuff, but just by playing defense on LeBron, they're like, oh, you stopped the best player in the series, you're the MVP.
But if he guards LeBron, LeBron's going to try to get into foul trouble the whole time.
And
so that's the danger.
And then you worry about his offense lacking. If Clay doesn't step up, what I mean is Durant, like the ego of Durant being like, I want to stop LeBron, where he has to work hard on defense. Then he loses it on offense. Clay doesn't step up. And then you get back into the Curry has to carry this team. And then we get to, oh, well, the Warriors are shorthanded. They're having to rely on Ian Clark. They have to rely on all these other guys.
So if KD guards LeBron and Curry's on Kyrie, which would not be ideal. You'd probably want to put Clay on Kyrie.
Yeah.
And then they switch so that Clay's on LeBron and Durant's on Kyrie. That's a problem for Durant. Because Kyrie will be able to stutter step and shoot over him.
Yep.
That's why I think this is going to be a long series, and the rest is really going to help them.
Yes.
I went from thinking Warriors in 5, Warriors in 5, Warriors in 5. Then I looked at the schedule. Like they have a great shot to win game 1. You know, perfect situation for them. LeBron with all this rest, Warriors miss a couple shots. You're going to have a crowd that's going to be not your typical Warriors crowd. A lot of big wig dudes. A lot of people who are just there to be there.
It's in their head too. They lost Game 7
and they lost Game 7. And Kyrie's going to go into the series thinking he's better than Curry.
Yes.
So you have the best 2 players in the Cavs think they're better than anyone in the Warriors, which is a problem. This is not like, oh shit, we're playing the Warriors. They're gonna go at them. They're gonna be throwing swings. I just think the Warriors have real shooting matchups in their favor. That they'll be able to get good shots anytime they want, and that will put an incredible amount of pressure on the Warriors to just match the scoring.
Yeah.
Which, you know, the Celtics' biggest problem was when they protected the 3-point line, then the Cavs could drive by them. And they had no rim protection. They basically Al Horford, and that's it. But usually it was Olynyk, and so the Warriors have Draymond, who's the best defensive player in the league, other than Kawhi, and Durant too. So I hate to say this, but I think foul trouble is going to determine some of this stuff. Durant getting stupid fouls. But my pick is I think the Cavs and I think the Warriors win in 6, and I think KD is the most logical finals. He's the best odds, but I think he's the most logical pick. Because defensively, they have nobody to guard him. It's not Tristan Thompson. It's not Kevin Love. It has to be LeBron.
Yep.
They'll probably put Shumpert on him, but that means Shumpert now has to play. So he's out there either for Kevin Love or J.R. Smith. Yeah. So now you can leave him open. You can't screen with him at all. And I don't know. It's a chess match. It's going to be a great series. And the playoffs were really awful. I did not enjoy them. But now it's going to pay off with some really good games that are almost going to play out like football games.
Yeah.
Like definitely. How we were like, oh, the Patriots against Atlanta. How are they going to? It reminds me of that.
It's going to be fun. I'm just worried if Durant does get the Finals MVP, the free agency of Stephen Curry is going to be very fun.
Oh, you're saying this as a Charlotte fan?
No. I'm just saying in general, the fact that now we have two Finals wins for the Warriors in 3 years. Iguodala wins in 15 by guarding LeBron when LeBron goes crazy. 2017 Durant wins. Then where does Curry,
I think Steph's going to be great in this series.
He's been unbelievable in the playoffs. It's been sort of strange how under the radar it's been. He and LeBron have both been the 2 best players in the playoffs so far.
Yeah. You know what is a fun Warriors wrinkle and why I do think Zaza will play and David West will play, they'll find spots for them, is they're going to hit the shit out of LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
And they will knock down Kyrie. The most frustrating thing for me as a Celtics fan in that last series was just they had too much respect for those guys, and they didn't treat them like it was a playoff series.
Except for Jerebko. He was the only one. He was the only one that did not care.
The Swedish Larry Bird was the only one who was totally undaunted. But you got to hit those guys, man. And the problem for the Warriors is Draymond and Durant. You can't waste the fouls on that, but you can waste the fouls with JaVale McGee and your boy the Rev, James McAdoo.
Yep.
And you can spend 24 fouls just nailing people every time they come into the paint. So it's not a bad idea to do that. I also think the LeBron free throw thing will be a fun subplot if they decide to just really start getting physical with him and trying to make him shoot 20 free throws in a game.
If they do the hack a Shaq with LeBron and they hack LeBron and send him to the line, that will be so interesting because then it comes into that's an isolated experience and people are going to remember him missing free throws if that's what they try to do. And they want, I mean, the Warriors got embarrassed last year by LeBron, and I know that they want to do something to make him a focal point of some sort of embarrassment. So if he's missing free throws and they know that,
yeah.
And Mike Brown knows that.
It won't be hack-a-shack, but it'll be every time he has a layup or a dunk, you foul him instead of giving him the layup or dunk.
He's shooting 71% in the playoffs.
Just hit him every time.
Yeah.
Because we know he's scoring on a layup or dunk, but he might be a 65% shooter in these playoffs, and that flips it. And they're going to have the fouls because there's going to be 6 guys who matter. 7?
Yeah.
6.
6, 7.
The big 4 plus Iggy plus Livingston.
Yeah.
That's 6.
Yeah.
And then the 4 guys with 24 fouls.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys have to just hit the shit out of. And Kyrie is another one that I don't feel like gets knocked down enough. I'm not advocating violence. I'm just saying, like, the guy goes to the rim really hard. Hit him.
Yeah.
Make him pay. Try to block it. If you don't block it, knock him down.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get up. Make the free throws.
Yeah.
Keep getting up.
Yeah.
The Celtics did not do that, unfortunately. So, what's your pick?
I think it's going to go 7 just because of I don't feel like there's any way after the rest of the playoffs they don't want. I think that fouls, you're going to see a differential in some of these games where they
game to game.
Yeah, they get them back into these games. I think it goes 7. I think the Warriors will get redemption at home in game 7. But it is weird that both years where we've had these two teams that the away team has won, not in their hometown. So we've never even seen a team win the championship with their home crowd there.
And that's my fear with if it goes to 7, if I'm a Warriors fan, is that it's a Cavs team coming in that has already won a game 7, which does not happen.
Yes.
It's the hardest thing in the planet to do is win a game 7 of the finals in the NBA. You can do it in hockey, you can do it in baseball, football, it's neutral. But in basketball, it just doesn't happen. The home team almost always wins. I'm trying to think if there's any other X factor for me.
I think personally, Pat McCall is a big X factor for the Warriors. If they just have like a little scoring binge where he has like the Kyrie mentality where he looks very unbothered by any moment. So if he just were to come in and hit 3 or 4 big threes, and you're just like, oh, Pat McCall had 15 points last night.
See, Tate, this is your rookie inexperience coming in.
Pat McCall's not going to have an impact.
He's going to be terrified this entire finals. I know it seems fine now, but when you get to the finals, it is like big balls time.
Yeah.
It is like, have I been here before?
Yeah.
I just think it's going to come down to like, I think every game is going to feel like a game 7. Because usually in the finals, you have these peaks, and then you have the game where like the young guys come in for the Warriors. I don't think this series is going to be like that. I think it's going to be, each one's going to be like a game 7.
Yeah.
Which I don't really remember in recent memory anyway, a basketball series being like that. They always have little ebbs and flows. I'm sure Cleveland will toss away a game. There's going to be a game where Golden State's just 22 for 38 from 3, and Cleveland realizes late in the third quarter they're not coming back, and they'll turn the Jets off.
I also see like the garbage time, say Warriors are up by a lot and it's a third quarter and they still have Steph and Draymond and those guys in. And if Cleveland's down, like Dante Jones comes in, Richard Jefferson comes in.
Dante Jones is out for blood.
And those guys are in there to strictly try to get a technical, try to get someone ejected, try to get something to happen that'll shake the series up.
So that was rewatching Game 7. I was fascinated that Jefferson was out there for so many big minutes because he's not the same guy this year.
Yeah.
So, and they haven't really, it's not like they replaced him with anybody different anyway. I'm excited. I'm going to game 1.
Nice.
I will be back in time Friday for a recap, and we'll be doing a podcast on that. But
perfect.
I'm excited for game 1.
Me too.
I am excited for all the games, and my pick is the Warriors in 6. So anyway, we had Ice Cube on as promised. He's coming up first. If you're like me and you're not so great at planning ahead, I've got good news for you. There's an awesome app called Hotel Tonight that helps you find amazing hotel deals at the last minute. Unlike flights, hotel rates usually get cheaper at the last minute. Hotel Tonight helps hotels sell their unsold rooms, allowing them to pass those deals along to you, not for last resort places, but cool, top-rated hotels. Hotel Tonight has over 15,000 awesome partner hotels in 36 countries, perfect for a spontaneous getaway or a trip you've wanted for a while, like Tate's Fancy Pants Napa trip last weekend. Like if your favorite sports team I don't know, made the NBA Finals. Maybe you wanted to zoom in to Cleveland or Oakland for one of these games. There you go, Hotel Tonight. The app's name, Hotel Tonight. You can book up to a week in advance. All it takes is 10 seconds, 3 taps, and a swipe. Get in on those killer last-minute deals. Download the Hotel Tonight app right now. And as promised, here he is, Ice Cube. What a pleasure. Here with Ice Cube.
Yay.
We actually sort of worked together a while ago on 30 for 30. You were in the first series. I remember being blown away that we got you to be involved with one of them. It was about the Raiders.
Yeah.
And their time in L.A. And who knew when we were doing that one, what was that, 6-7 years ago, that the Raiders would be in this odyssey. Now they're in Vegas. Were you must have been rooting for them to come back, right?
Definitely. I felt like it was a perfect fit. And everything was going right,
Yeah.
It was like the Chargers are coming, which, but the Raiders coming and Carson, they back. We got them. You move Chargers to the NFC.
Yeah, get rid of the Chargers.
You bring the Seahawks back to the AFC. And we got us a nice little family there. We might even, start rooting for the Chargers if they wasn't in the AFC in the same building. But
wasn't meant
all
to
that
be.
money come in from St. Louis and the Rams, and it kind of threw a monkey wrench in my dream of having the Raiders back.
Well, then it seemed like there might be a chance where the Rams build the stadium. They needed the second tenant.
Yeah.
Then it was like, well, why wouldn't it be the Raiders? And then, I hate to bring up race 2 minutes into the podcast, but it really did seem like they were afraid of having Raider fans in that stadium. Because I can't think of another reason why you would pick the Chargers over the Raiders.
Well, you don't want to build a stadium and your tenant is more popular than
Yeah, that too.
so
There
I
was so
felt
many
like it was
OG
a
Raider
little bit
fans.
of, we don't want to compete. We built a new stadium for our team, and we don't want to compete for the love of the fans. And
You say, whereas they bring the Chargers in, they're not going to have to compete with any
They don't
Chargers
have to
fans.
compete with
All the San
nobody.
Diego fans like, take them, we're done, get them out.
San Diego's, I don't think they're coming to Inglewood, and I believe the Orange County fans are definitely not coming to Inglewood. So I don't know what they was thinking with this one.
It really does seem like they've created this situation where the fans are going to be the other team's fans. Be like, the Bears are playing the Chargers in Carson.
Yeah.
30,000 Bears fans. Chargers fans selling their tickets on the secondary market.
Yeah.
And that's where we're headed. And
It's
by
a
the way,
mess.
when the Raiders play there, I
my
promise
God.
you there's going to be all Raiders fans in that game.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to feel like, even when they play in Inglewood, they're going to feel like the visiting team in their own stadium.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
So you were saying before we started that you thought that 30 for 30 that we did in a roundabout way kind of paved the way for maybe the movie happening, which is fantastic and is on HBO all the time.
Yeah, without a doubt. It was a good thing. What happened was it was just a influx of interest. With not only with the 30 for 30, which was a whole new history that people really didn't realize, so it was always there, but before we did the 30 for 30, Straight Outta L.A, people didn't realize that the true intersection of sports and music with N.W.A and the Raiders. So at the same time, VH1 did The World's Most Dangerous Group, and then they did Behind the Music on me and Dre, and it just was this influx of interest. And when people saw those documentaries put together, they were more, I guess, open to see a movie of this caliber because they knew it had all the ingredients to be a great movie if we did it right.
It was the 30 for 30 and I liked a lot of the ones we did with the first series. but we did a lot of it on the fly, and a lot of it you're grabbing filmmakers and we're trying to get to 30. We're trying to match topics and filmmakers, all this stuff. And you don't really know what we're going to get. And I remember seeing a rough cut of yours and thinking, this is what the series is, because it was a story that was a story, but it wasn't like the biggest story ever, but it was a story that mattered. Mm-hmm. We were kind of making people go, oh, I remember that. Yep. But then also going, oh, I didn't realize that. Yep. And if you do the, I remember that cross with the, oh, I didn't realize that. And it felt relevant in the moment too, because it was like perfect. It was hitting all these different things. Then we had you as the ambassador for it. And I was like, this is a blueprint of something beyond what we anticipated.
Man, I'm extremely proud of Straight Outta L.A.
It's a good one. It holds up.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, when you in entertainment, you start off in music and you move to being an actor, and then you say, hey, I want to produce something, or I want to write something, or I want to. You never know when you're stepping out of bounds. You never know when you've bitten off more than you can chew until some people tell you that suck. You know what I mean? And you realize, I'm not that good at that.
Yeah.
But, diving into a documentary style film, was, new territory in a lot of ways for me. We had done a series called Black White for FX, which it was a reality show where, we took a white family and put them in with a black family to live together. But the white family we put in makeup and made them black. And the black family we put in makeup and made them white, and had them go out into the community and basically talk about their experiences.
Yeah.
And so that was the only little thing we had done diving into, documentary type filmmaking. So to be able to dive into sports, to be able to dive into the Raiders at that time was a dream come true for me, because, I get to interview Howie Long, and I get to, have interaction with some of these guys who were my heroes growing up. So it was kind of cool to be able to do that.
And that team intersected with video games, because Bo Jackson was the greatest video game character who's ever lived in Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
Then you had all the merchandise and stuff. I really do feel like that was the first team where it just seemed like everyone wore their hats, but this was the hats, the jackets, the gear.
Yeah.
You guys, your group pushed that to a whole other level, and then that became the model for the next 25 years of people wearing sports paraphernalia.
In a lot of ways, yeah, because we would go to other cities, We'd be in Cincinnati, we'd be in, Houston, and we'd go to buy Raider gear thinking, they're probably buying Bengals gear here.
Yeah.
They probably got all the Oils gear sold up. We'll be able to go get a Raider hat, something. No. All the Raider gear is gone. And everybody else team stuff is up there. So we knew. And then we go to the show that night, see the whole crowd in Raider gear, and we knew that this was a phenomenon that was happening that had little to do with football on the field.
How much of that was luck?
A lot.
Okay.
I mean, the Raiders even moving to L.A. in 83, to 94. So that's the N.W.A. sweet spot in a lot of ways, because we come around, we start hitting it 87, 88. By 89, we got our whole flavor on what we gonna be, look like, do, how it's all gonna come out. And so the Raiders being here was a big part of that, because it helped cement our image in a lot of ways. Running around in purple and gold, or running around in, Dodger blue,
right, don't
really convey, the music we were trying to convey to the world. So the silver and black, that patch, the imagery.
Plus, they're the Pirates. Raiders were Pirates,
and they were winners.
Kind of, and they won. Yeah,
you know what I mean. They won the Super Bowl, and had marquee players. So it was you know, it was perfect timing for us.
We ran a piece on The Ringer about the Raiders from somebody who worked for them as their GM for years and years, Mike Lombardi. And he was saying how Al Davis didn't even care what the first name of the team was because to him it was just the Raiders. Mm-hmm. And it was like, didn't really matter. And now they're the Vegas Raiders. It was like, doesn't matter. The Raiders were the thing. It's so strange that they were in L.A. though, I've lived in L.A. now for 15 years. Mm-hmm. Like the Raiders and everything there. And then just compared to like the Dodgers and the Lakers, as you said, like the purple in Dodger Stadium and the blue. And then you have this Raiders come in. That's one of the reasons I love the documentary so much.
Yeah,
because it was like outcasts.
Without a doubt. And if you go into the Coliseum, you know, it feel like a street game. It feel like, you know, blacktop tackle. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, them being right there, you know, in the Coliseum, you know, because the Coliseum is basically, you know, kissing the hood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, you know, it's the Coliseum. You step across the street, you're in the hood. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to me, it was the element of LA that people don't want to look at and don't want to acknowledge most of the time. You know, people just want to acknowledge, you know, bikinis and beach and, you know,
Randy Newman, I love LA.
Yeah, you know, and that's cool. You know, that is LA. But LA has a underbelly, you know, that people, you know, now know more about than they did back then. But it's still a part of LA that people don't want to, you know,
well, I'll tell
shake up.
I'll tell you from my end, because I grew up in Boston, and especially when the '84 finals and all that stuff, and we were like, we're the tough guys. These LA guys, they're the pussies. Yeah. They're like, they're out and they're in the beach and they play soft and we're physical and we beat them in '84 because we were tougher. Mm-hmm. And we had no idea about the side that you just talked about.
Well, I mean, in '84, you guys were a tougher team.
Yeah, we had the big clothesline.
Yeah, you guys had. And when looking back, the Lakers at the time got caught up in that.
Yeah, totally.
And didn't play, and they was worried about being tough. But by '85, the Lakers was a little tougher.
They were ready.
And they were ready for the challenge to be able to be tough and play and keep their composure.
And Magic got tough. The '84 finals was the best thing that happened to Magic.
That
pushed him to another level. Made him,
you know,
it gave him a dark side that I think he needed.
Yeah, even though that finals like hurt me more than losing to Boston, and you know this last updated, you know, Kobe versus
the
Big Three.
Yeah.
That '84 was painful, man. It was painful.
And now they're talking about this finals that we have now, whether this is the most star-studded finals ever, because there's 7 All-Stars on the Cavs and Warriors. I still feel like that 84, 85, 87, with the characters that we had with Magic, Bird, and Kareem, 3 of the top 6 ever.
Yeah.
Worthy, McHale, Dennis Johnson, Michael Cooper. It just feels Pat Riley as the coach. Like it just feels like I think it was more star-studded back then. Is my point.
It felt like it.
Yeah,
it felt like more of a big deal.
Yeah,
you know, and probably because you know that was, you know, when ESPN wasn't like all over the place, and you know all these other networks that you know bring sports to you, you know, probably more than you would want. Yeah, but you know back then it was kind of laser focused on those series. Now, you know, it feels like a manufactured, you know, a manufactured fight instead of
a business arrangement between people who carefully pick their teams.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
And back then, it just seemed like, hey, man, these are the cards you dealt. You got to play with the cards you dealt.
Right.
And if you can win with the cards you dealt, you're a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a little strange nowadays, you know, when you see, you know, players, you know, really, you know, having the league kind of, you know, by the balls, so to speak. You know, they can kind of go make a super team, whether the fans want it or not.
When did you guys get big enough that you started going to Laker games with good seats?
I started going like around the time they got Shaq, like a little
so
before,
this is after.
before they got Shaq.
So
actually before that.
Not late 80s?
No, early 90s. I was in that. I was in. I saw Jordan in the 91 finals. I had great seats. And
Right.
It was just seeing him up close, and just like not believing this guy's gonna
Remember
be
that?
able to demolish our team.
Yeah, remember in 91, it was like Jordan can't win the big one.
Yeah, it was.
Once he's in the
Lakers won
finals, he
game
won.
one.
Yeah.
Lakers won game one, and then, I put my feet up,
I might have lost a lot of money on the Lakers that series. It was one of my first
I lost
first
a lot
really
of
bad
pride.
gambling losses.
I lost a lot of pride.
Yeah.
I had to, give it up to Michael. At the time, you don't want to be a fan of Mike. You want to, we got Magic. We got Kareem.
Yeah.
We got teams who got rings. This dude don't even have a ring.
Right.
And to see him ascend to greatness through all of these, foes, it was kind of like, seeing like Batman destroy his enemies one by one. It was crazy.
Right. Did you follow the 25th anniversary of Rodney King, all that stuff? There was documentaries and magazine pieces like 6-7 weeks ago, and it was in this news cycle for about a week. Were you following that?
Not really. That stuff kind of it's nauseating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of it makes me feel messed up inside. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really need to relive all that stuff.
Right.
I kind of hate the fact that some news channels just rehash a lot of mess for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you remember about those 3 days? Because I didn't move to L.A. till 2002, and when I got here, it was like you'd had the riots, you'd had the earthquake, OJ, and it was like this 4-year span of just craziness, and people were still settling down from it. 8 years later,
mad.
what do you remember that?
Just mad. I just remember being pissed off about everything. And, the only good thing I saw come out of it was the peace treaty between the Crips and the Bloods. That was, a beautiful thing. That was like what I hang my hat on when it comes to the riots is the peace treaty, seeing, a park full of Bloods and Crips settling their differences. And, you got casualties on each side. They just had Memorial Day. We need a Memorial Day for, the hood soldiers and the ghetto vets that's out there. But, just seeing guys coming together and trying to work together, trying to figure it out, trying to unite. That was the most beautiful thing out of the whole riots.
Did you get involved in that at all?
To a certain extent. At the time, I was always looking for a way to expand it, to figure out a way to take it just from out of parks, this, that, and the other, and bring it to the streets or to the public. So it helped us form West Side Connection, which was a group where it was me, Dub C, and Mac 10. Me and Dub C, we grew up on the Crip side of L.A., and Mac 10 grew up on the Blood side of L.A. So having us doing records together really did a lot for the spirit of the truce and for the spirit of trying to bury the hatchets and understand that we all together. And, to me, it did a lot for that because to this day, I still know Crips and Bloods that kick it together, low ride together, hang out, motorcycle, just from that truce, they never broke the bond again. And that's cool because, it's a lot of divisiveness that's going on in LA. And so I always think back to that time.
You were involved. I would say the three things that would bring everybody together in that situation would be music, movies, sports, right? Mm-hmm. So your music, as you guys are ascending from 87, 88, 89, it didn't matter where you were from. Everybody was into it, right?
Yeah, well,
or were there people still holding out?
It was still people holding out, I think, until 89. I think until the Straight Outta Compton album hit, and then it was just kind of...
Everybody's in at that point.
Yeah, because it was so many things to set you up for that, and the world was ready for it. It was perfect timing because it was, it was right after, like, Boogie Down Productions and Public Enemy and Ice-T, and these guys had teed up, us for success.
And you were tapping into stuff that, even though everybody in LA knew about it, I don't think everybody knew about it. And it wasn't really until the Rodney King and even the stuff Daryl Gates was doing the 2-3 years before that, like living in New England, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. And that's why we didn't think we were going to ever, be, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame one day.
Right.
It was because we felt like this was something we were living in LA, and the people in LA didn't even want to know about it. So we felt like we didn't have a chance with people, as far as Boston, as far as New York. We felt like these dudes would never understand what we're going through and never even care because people here don't care. So by seeing it blow up, and, one day they called me and said, hey, man, we got a show in Chicago. I'm like, what? How do they know about our record in Chicago? We got a show, Regal Theater, and it was cool to start to see the music spread like a wildfire and go, first we was doing shows in Phoenix and Vegas and the Bay Area. And then we're in Portland, we're in Denver, we're in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Then we're in, Salt Lake City and St. Louis, and it just started to just grow,
But the reaction initially, at least from outside, was, well, these guys are going after the police. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And you had that, and it seemed like it took a while for people to actually listen to what not just your group, but other people were singing about, like what the genesis of that stuff was.
Yeah, it was shocking, at the time, because, before us, Rodney King, any of that stuff, police could do no wrong. I mean, if a cop got on the stand, pointed you out, you going to jail, man. I mean, it's like nobody ever questioned the cops' motives.
Right.
And, so we do our song, and then Ice-T with Cop Killer. These two songs are powerful, and they're right behind each other. And, at first it's outrage, then you see Rodney King. Now the movie is starting to come into focus.
Do you regret, is there anything, if you could do that side of it differently and push the same attention toward what you guys are talking about without being as outrageous with the song, do you think that would have been more beneficial or not?
Nah, I don't think so, because the song was, therapy.
Yeah.
For us, it was like, you couldn't do nothing physically to the police. That was just not even in our thought process. But this song was like our weapon. It was like our way to, protest what was happening and not be nice about it.
I loved your movie, and I thought how they set up that song was my favorite part of the movie. Yeah, because you could actually feel it. It's like these are the moments that led to this song.
And here's why you was able to feel it, because you realize what the police don't, or what the police don't take time to realize, is that you know, you basically dealing with some good dudes. You're not dealing with that criminal element that you don't mind the police deal with in that way. You see what I'm saying? So that's what makes you say, man, come on. You know, these dudes is trying to make it out. You know, leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? That's the feeling you have. And, you know, that's kind of how we were. You know, even Easy, you know, doing what he was doing, he was basically trying to get out of that. This was his way out, was music, because he didn't want to do that no more.
Yeah.
Because he knew it was a dead end. And so that's what pisses you off, man, about the police. You know what I mean? It's like you see a dude go into a church, you know, shoot up people, and they walk him out in a damn bulletproof vest and don't want nobody to touch him. But then they go beat up some 18-year-old kid mouthing off at the beach. You know what I mean? They want to rough him up and, you know, teach him a lesson. It's like, dude, use that energy on the guy y'all putting in the bulletproof vest. You know, kick somebody ass that you know who did it, who deserve it, who's a criminal. You know, not some kid mouthing off at you or, you know. So that's the problem. It's like, you know, it becomes, you know, a bully mentality and not just, you know, trying to take the bad guys off the street, teach them a lesson. You know, it's like you're teaching everybody a lesson that you run across.
How do you, I mean, obviously you're not talking about every policeman because we have great policemen too, right?
Of course.
So you're talking about a couple of the people that spoil it for everybody. How do you reconcile that when you meet a good policeman, somebody who's does their job well and has done everything right, and he meets you and he's like, you're the guy who was in that group who had that song? Yeah,
they usually love me. You know, they usually want to take pictures. You know, even if I do the song, they'll want to take pictures backstage because, you know, it is a good cop, bad cop phenomenon out there. And, you know, what we would love for the good cops to do is point out these bad apples, man. Get them off the force.
Yeah.
So you guys can get your respect back from the community.
Right.
Because the community understands the necessity of the police and why they need to be there. They love them, the fact that they're there. What they don't love is the abuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know.
And you think for, like, the Rodney King was the one that became infamous, but, I mean, was that once a week? Man, that's every day somewhere. Every day somewhere. Yeah.
So that's what's sad is because, man, I seen this coming up. You know, just how the police deal with people in our neighborhoods and in our communities is just too heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Too heavy-handed. And
how do you keep your attachment to those neighborhoods? Because you've had so much success over the last 30 years, you know, and it does seem like one of the ironies of somebody like you or Dre or Kendrick, anybody, is they hit a certain point and now they're able to move out. They're able to go in another neighborhood. Mm-hmm. The stuff they're singing about, writing about isn't the same stuff that would connect with somebody who's 18 years old living in the worst part of L.A. Mm-hmm. How do you reconcile all that?
Well, you know, most of us are the most successful people in our generation.
Yeah.
And in our family. So everything that connects us to family is usually still in the neighborhood, you know, except our immediate, you know, you can get mom out, dad out, brother, sister might help out. But for the most part, you know, all of our loved ones are still in it. And, you know, so if you're not a person who's trying to fly away, you know, you stay connected. And, you know, now you feel, at least I do, I feel like I need to speak for people who can't speak for themselves.
Yeah.
So, you know, my ears to the street a little more just to be able to make sure that I can, you know, take some pain you know, and hopefully, you know, help the world to understand what we go through, you know, and that's what it's all about, you know. And that's what's the beautiful thing about music is it's all understanding. It's all a way for humans to understand each other, behavior, and it's all discovery. So
and yet,
that's what I use it.
And yet, Boyz n the Hood, I would argue, was just as powerful, if not more.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think hit more people, your music or that movie, in the early '90s?
Man, it's hard to say because the movies are so.
I still think that's the best L.A. movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a movie that really, to me, before a movie like that, you just seen people like Doughboy on the 11 o'clock news, you know, in the back of a police car, and you don't know his story. Why is he like that? You know,
or you read about Ricky on some Sports Illustrated profile or some Sports Center Sunday night 5-minute piece. That's it.
And you never get to be that fly on the wall, you know. When I first read it, I couldn't believe that they were gonna make a movie about how we grew up. I'm like, is this movie worthy? You know what I mean? Because when you in it, you don't think nobody give a damn about you or what's happening to you or what you going through on a day-to-day basis. So to see, you know, Columbia want to put money behind doing a movie about what you live every day, it was kind of I was just curious, like, why? You know, I just didn't believe our story was movie worthy.
You think movies are like Batman?
Yeah, you know, it's like Jaws, Star Wars,
Hoosiers,
like, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark. But you know, to be a part of it, it's just.
When was the last time
incredible.
you watched it?
Man, it's been about 4 years.
It's incredible.
It is. It's a great movie.
I don't think it got nominated for an Oscar, right?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah,
but it didn't win anything.
Didn't win.
Did he get nominated, Singleton?
Yeah.
What was the one? Oh, Do the Right Thing didn't get nominated.
Yeah, Do the Right Thing didn't get nominated.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's certain movies are little snapshots of an era or a place or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best ones.
Without a doubt, you know.
And it catches everything. We had a writer, Cam Collins, for The Ringer, wrote a great piece about how that was pre-Rodney King, but kind of when you watch it now with the context of Rodney King and then even OJ after, it's almost like a trilogy.
Without a doubt, you could feel it. I mean, that scene with Cuba Gooding Jr. and the cop is pretty powerful. And you know, we did that movie, and it was my first movie. I remember when that
was your first movie?
First movie ever.
Wow.
And John showed me the movie before it was done. And, you know, if you ever see a movie before it's finished, you will say, this is garbage. Right. You know, it's sounds you don't hear, but you see, you know what I mean? It's just unfinished, unpolished. It's like seeing a room right after they build it, but they don't put furniture or paint. You just like, what is this shit? So that's kind of how I looked at it. I was so mad. I left. I called my manager.
Oh, you thought it was like a career-destroying movie for you?
I shouldn't have did this. She said, was it that bad? I said, it didn't have no music in it. It wasn't no sounds. It felt flat. You know, because they don't, you know, you got to put all those sound effects in a movie. You know, when a guy is put a cup down, you have to actually put that sound in there or you won't hear it. You'll see it, but you won't hear it. And so I was just disappointed. And I didn't want to have nothing to do with Boyz n the Hood. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, mistake. And John kept saying, let me finish it. Will you let me finish it? Will you let me finish it? I said, okay. All right. So I didn't see it until we went to the Cannes Film Festival. So I'm like, we gonna show this to a French audience?
Did you go?
Yeah, I went. Because as a career move, you go. But I'm like, we're going to show this to a French audience, man. For one thing, the subject matter, they not going to get what the hell a 64 is and go get the 40 and all this kind of, come on, man. And the movie is flat. But when I saw it, it was completed. And it just blew me away. And then, so it had subtitles, though, because it was for the French. So it's French subtitles. So I'm like, I love the movie, but these people probably hate this. And they just gave it a standing ovation at the end.
Wow.
They just jumped up and clapped. And I'm like, it was crazy because Eddie Murphy was there and like Quincy Jones. And
that was it. You knew it was going to blow up after
I was
that.
like, this is going to blow. This is like the best thing I ever did.
You were mad Doughboy wasn't going to be around for a sequel?
No, I didn't worry about it. You know, at the time,
Like, really?
if I was savvy, and if I was looking at Hollywood Shuffle close, which is a movie I love.
Yeah.
You know, if you die in the script, it's not a good script. So I would have read that part and probably said,
like,
"Man, I gotta
Doughboy
live."
was shot but survived.
Yeah, he shot. He limping across.
And now
the
he's a
street.
detective in L.A. ready for a sequel.
Yeah,
He's turned his life around.
without a doubt.
Quick break to talk about propercloth.com. Every guy knows that it's hard to find a dress shirt that fits. Maybe the collar's too tight, the sleeves are too long, the shirt's too loose. And guess what? I have some good news. Ordering a custom fit shirt has never been easier thanks to Proper Cloth. Create a custom shirt size in seconds by just answering 10 easy questions, no measuring required. Over 500 fabric styles to choose from, everything from classic business to casual shirts. All high quality starting at just $85. Proper Cloth has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Google and Yelp. It's the highest rated custom shirt maker on Google. Find out why GQ calls them their favorite online custom shirt maker. Go to their easy to use website, make a custom profile, even order from your phone. By the way, Proper Cloth guarantees a perfect fit. Remakes are free. The Proper Cloth team makes it super easy to do. Stop wearing shirts that don't fit. Look your best. Go to propercloth.com/BS. Enter gift code BS. And you will save $20 on your first shirt. Again, propercloth.com/BS. Gift code BS. And since we're here, let's also talk to you about CreditWise from Capital One. You know what? Numbers are great. WHIP, WAR, PER. But on their own, they don't tell the whole story. Credit isn't any different. With credit, it's all about how well you perform against the factors that go into a credit score. Let's break it down. How good are you at paying your bills on time? How much credit do you have spread across different accounts? How long have those accounts been open? All these factors impact your credit health, and since there is no one single score that lenders use, knowing these factors are key. Just like on the field, there is a lot more to your credit than just knowing your score. CreditWise lets you track the factors that make up your credit health using information from your TransUnion credit report. The app can help you spot errors or identify theft. It lays out information you need to understand your behaviors and how they impact your credit health. I can't wait to give this to my daughter in 9 years. Plus, you can check it anytime without negatively impacting your credit. And the best part, it's 100% free for everybody, whether you're a Capital One customer or not. Step up your game. Download CreditWise today. Back to Ice Cube. In Straight Outta Compton, one of the things I really like that movie. I've seen it a bunch of times, and it's passed the HBO test for me, where if it's on like about, I don't know, 30 minutes in, be like, oh, the Detroit scene's coming up. I'm sticking around. You stick around for a half hour. Oh, Detroit's coming.
That's cool.
The Detroit scene's incredible.
Yes.
Just flat out amazing. But I think the most amazing thing about that movie, as far as you're concerned, is the actor who plays Ice Cube.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that happened. This should have gone terribly. There's no way this should have worked. This should have been a disaster. And it was the opposite. It was like you CGI'd yourself.
It's crazy. It could have went all bad.
And he's a good actor.
Yeah. The guy, I mean, I wouldn't have put him in the movie if I didn't think he could do it. I mean, I wouldn't have ruined his life like that.
Right.
Because, you know, you go from being just my son, cool kid spending my money, you know what I'm saying, to this pariah on social media of keep your day job and just stay his son. You know what I mean? It's like it could have went all bad. It was definitely walking on the tightrope.
You had 3 roles where the actors had to be good and had to make me think that they were you guys.
Yes.
And you went 3 for 3. I would say that over under would have been 1.5.
Yes.
If any of the 3 don't work, the movie doesn't work as well.
I
If
agree.
2 of them doesn't work, you barely get released.
I agree.
And then you went 3 for 3. It's incredible.
Yeah, man. You know, it was, you know, we say we was on a mission from God. You know what
How
I'm
many
saying?
years did that take?
It took about 4 to, you know, because it moved from one studio to another.
Yeah.
And
Was it easy
it was
to get
a
all the
couple of
music?
different writers. Huh?
Was it easy to get all the music for you guys? Because it's a little spread
Easier,
around, right?
because-
Easier, yeah.
Tamika, which is Eazy's widow, she, you know, was a producer, so she controls the music. And but the music has a lot of samples in it, so it took layers of you know, convincing on some levels.
How accurate was the scene when you guys are teaching Easy how to rap and he can't do it, and then all of a sudden it kicks in? Was that? I mean, when you're doing something like that, are you exaggerating it, or is that relatively what happened?
Well, I mean, you have to put together summaries.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
little compilations of what happened.
Yeah, because where some would take a week and a whole lot of stuff would happen in a week, you know, you might have 3 scenes to pull this off. So sometimes you have to summarize some of the things that happened to get the whole picture of what
Right.
really happened.
So he wasn't good right away,
No,
and then
it took him
eventually
about 2 days to get it. I mean, and you know, they had times, it wasn't like 48 hours, but they blocked over 6 hours at a time each day. And it took about 2 days to really get it where Dre would play it for us.
It's also interesting to me how so many different bands have hit the exact same beats with their studio or their manager or whatever, where they're just getting ripped off and they don't realize it yet. And it doesn't matter. You could be the Backstreet Boys, you could be you guys, you could be anybody. Yeah. And it still hits those same beats where at some point somebody goes, hey, wait a second.
Yeah.
Whoa, why is that guy eating lobster?
Yeah. We got Fatburger.
What's happening right now? And then then the light bulb goes off, and then it becomes a scramble.
Yeah, because what happens is, you know, it's usually some, you know,
Well, you guys are
praying
so
mantis kind of
Right.
guy, you know, waiting for talent in the wings, and he knows all the tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
And you don't know shit. But
you guys are just happy
you just
that
wanna get on the
anybody's
radio.
listening to you.
You
Yeah.
just want to get
You're
on the
like,
radio.
oh my God, I'm on the radio.
Get on the radio. Want to get a video on. That's all you want. And so you have these guys who just wait, like I said, like a prey mantis or a fucking Venus flytrap or something. Just as soon as the right person land, so it takes time for the novelty to wear off.
Yeah.
It takes time, you know, when you hear your song 25 times on the radio, it's not as exciting as the first few. So see your video a few times, do a few shows, you start to, you know, boom, boom, boom. Now, at the same time, you're creating bills bigger than you've ever seen because you've never went on tour, never shot a video. So now you're starting to see, hey, this stuff is costing a lot of money. Okay, who's paying, where's it coming from, and why I'm not getting paid. You know, the director got paid, this one got paid.
Yeah.
Oh, you're an artist, you don't get paid for a video. You only pay.
You're like
so now
worse
you're
than
scratching your
boxers.
head.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute. How's that? How is everybody get paid off a video but the artist? You know, so then you start the antennas go up. Like, what is this? This can't be right. It's got to be every horror story I've ever heard since Otis Redding or something. You know, you're like, something ain't right. So now antennas up, you're looking, you're searching, and it takes somebody smart to see you, you to ask the right question or them to ask you the right question, and then they start to say, well, did you do this? Did you sign this? What about publishing? And you're like, what is publishing? And you start to, and if you sign too many things before you figure it out, then you're stuck and you're fighting and feuding with the label and the manager and all the people who've taken advantage before you realize that there was business in show business.
It's like music and boxing.
Yeah.
Those are the two where you sign 3 things wrong early and you're just screwed. Like Ali had like no money by the time he stopped boxing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Everybody was just, hey, here, Ali. Oh, I'll take your, and then there's none left for Ali.
Yeah, that's how it is. And it's a trip because when I got in the movie industry, and they're like, we're going to pay you this and your check is coming and you'll get it Friday. I'm like, get ready to chase these people down for my money.
Right.
I'm telling my team, get ready to chase these people down. And they pay you on time. And you're like, what the hell's...
Oh, this is weird.
I'm going to the bank now. You know what I mean? Drop everything, go to the bank now. You put it in and it clear. And you're like, damn. And they give you another check the next week. And it clear. Damn, no problems, no issues. You're like... music business is full of damn crooks.
What's your biggest regret other than not realizing that you shouldn't have signed certain things from that 5-year stretch? What was the one thing you would have done differently?
Well, what's cool is I didn't. That's how I was able to leave.
Oh, yeah, you're right. What am I thinking?
Sign. And what it was because I had a publicist. N.W.A had a publicist that worked for Priority Records. And her name was Pat Charbonnet. And... she went, one day, I was the only one that would really show up to do the promo stuff.
Yeah.
Like I came here, I was on time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If it was Easy, Dre, Ren, and Yella, we'd get calls saying, let Cube do it. He there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So by that happening a lot, me and Pat, we started talking. And Pat never trusted Jerry Heller. She knew about him. She was like, what you know about this dude? Nothing. This is easy guy. It's like, you need a lawyer. You need somebody. Don't sign nothing he put in front of you. So it was cool. What I wish I could have did was show that in the movie, but we couldn't go that. We couldn't really go there and kind of open them can of worms. But
you had some legality things that you had to be careful with, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. It was one of the hardest things I've done, besides this Big 3 thing.
Yeah.
But it was just a hard movie because there was so many moving parts, so many egos, attitudes of, I wouldn't say egos and attitudes because it was.
No, let's say it.
No, because that really didn't come into play.
Yeah.
As much as, why we showing that and not this, and why we showing this and not that, and this don't make sense. And I'm like, just teaching people how to make a movie, and I'm like, it's not a documentary, it's a movie. It has to be told in a certain way, or it unravels. So
my only nitpick as somebody who loves this stuff and is a little bit of a historian with it. The Eazy getting back together and being a little bit buddy with everybody at the end, that seemed a little exaggerated.
Nah, it wasn't.
That tiny bit?
Now, no. I mean, no, it wasn't.
The stuff Dre and Snoop said in the Chronic about Eazy-E was not nice.
I mean, after No Vaseline.
That was not.
After No Vaseline, me and him buried the
But it was that was right after that, though, right?
It was, now,
give me the timeline.
The timeline is, I left the group in 89.
Yeah.
By 94, 95,
Everybody was good?
I had buried any hatchets because my career was a dream. It was going the way I wanted it to go.
And you wrote No Vaseline, so you had the last word.
Yeah. So I didn't have any
you
more
won the diss track
animosity, and they were feuding against each other.
Yeah.
So, when I saw him, and I hadn't seen him for years, but I saw him in the tunnel, and that's in the movie, and he was like, yo, it was like old times again. It wasn't the animosity that I thought was going to be there. It wasn't that, hatred. It was like we was back in 88 trying to get famous.
I just wasn't buying that Dre was ever getting back.
I don't know about that part.
Yeah.
Because when I left the group, I didn't know what was going on either. So
yeah.
This movie was a lot of discovery for me too, because in putting the movie together and interviewing Ren and Yella and all the people that was there, I'm learning stuff that I was never privy to because they wasn't talking to me. So I felt like, if I'm discovering shit, everybody should be able to. You know what I'm saying? Everybody will discover something out of this movie. So, did it happen like that? Dre said it did, so I can only go by Dre. Now is Dre saying that because he's gone?
I don't totally. I think it was a nice version of what happened.
Yeah,
would be my guess.
Yeah,
I don't think Dre was ever like, yeah, it'd be great to work together again. I think he was good at that point. That'd be my guess.
I don't know. Dre is, he's one of those dudes who work off inspiration. So if he was inspired that day, he might have had a conversation.
Wait, so anytime they do the diss track tournament, it's always no Vaseline and hit him up in the finals.
Yeah, I'm proud of that.
I don't know who's favored. It's almost like Warriors Cavs in 2017. I think you were first.
Better.
Yeah, you were first.
Mine is better. Here's why.
Okay.
We were in the same group, so it's more personal.
Oh,
they
that's
were just
interesting.
Friends.
What do you think, Tommy?
Definitely. Joe Vaseline's the best by far.
All right, Tommy says, I don't know, hit him up.
It's an ugly diss song. I mean, it's vicious.
In No Vaseline, did you ever brag about having sex with somebody that Dre had maybe, or Eazy had been with, or dated?
Nah.
I'm trying to break it down in my head mentally.
Yeah.
I think you're favored in the finals.
I mean,
you were first.
Yeah.
It was like the first big ass one of its kind. I don't know. I have to think about it some more.
Okay.
When Tupac did it, did you feel like, hey, that's my corner, I invented this?
Nah. I mean, Tupac's was banging, but my loop is better too. I mean, using that Daz, man, Brick. Oh, come on now.
It's a very good scene in the movie, too.
Oh, my God. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, you got to give it up to Pac. He one of the best that ever picked up a mic. But if he was here, I'd still tell him. Can't fade no Vaseline.
Who do you have?
Because No Vaseline has a big intro on it that they never play. It's damn near a theme ride. You know what I mean?
Who do you have in Pac versus Biggie, which is the Bird versus Magic of hip hop?
Depends,
No, that's not. You can't answer depends. You have to pick.
It depends.
Okay.
If I'm talking about on stage passion, MC from the heart, that's Tupac. If I'm just talking about lyrical gymnastics, that's Biggie.
So, if you wanted to write songs with somebody for 2 days, you'd pick Pac.
I'd pick Pac.
If you're at In-N-Out Burger sitting outside with somebody and you're like, hey, entertain us for 15 minutes and just come up with some rhymes, that's Biggie. I think on the cuff, he's got to be the choice for that.
Yeah. I think, Biggie probably could freestyle better than Pac, but Pac got the passion. And I'm a passion rapper. I'm a
Pac guy, but
I'm
there's
just
a lot
not
of Biggie dudes out there.
wordsmith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to have some passion behind it.
I'm on the Pac side. Pac's my Larry Bird in this. I guess he's your Magic in this one.
Yeah.
I had one more music question. If you had trademarked Triple Double after you sang about it in that song, hey, first of all, Triple Double, it started like in the early 80s basically with Magic's PR guy, and then it became kind of a known basketball thing, but not really. Then you did it in the song. I felt like it went to another level. Mm-hmm. If you had trademarked it, I think it would have worked. I think you could have trademarked it from that song. Then every
How
time
do I
somebody
get
said
paid?
triple double,
How
you
do I
would
get-
have gotten paid.
Yeah, probably so.
Is
Yeah,
that the lyric you get that people bring up the most?
Yeah, people be
has
like,
to, right?
Yeah, I get that a lot. On my Twitter feed and everything, man. How did you measure a triple double in a pickup game?
It's one of the unsolvable questions. The game would have to go to at least 30
well,
by one
Yeah, I mean,
or 20.
I keep a statistician with me. I mean, when you get paid, you can do that.
All right, let's talk about Big Three.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
How many years in the making was this?
A year, maybe
Okay.
a little more.
Your idea?
As a fan, I came up with, a great concept, but when it comes to full blown idea, I gotta give credit to Jeff Quantnitz, my longtime manager, business partner, and Roger Mason Jr., who's our commissioner.
Yeah.
And he was the number 2 at the PA for a while. We brainstormed and basically, came up with all the rules and the concept and what the league should look, act, and feel like. So it's been a year in the making.
How many teams?
8 teams, 5 players per team, all play on the same day in the same arena. So you'll see 48 of your favorite stars because our coaches are Hall of Famers and guys that's been in the league like Dr. J and Iceman and Clyde the Glide and Rick Mahorn.
Does the NBA like that this is happening?
I don't know. I told him that David Stern should have probably thought of this 30 years ago for players.
I think
and
they
for
were
fans.
intrigued by the Legends thing because I remember the first couple All-Star weekends they had it, and somebody got hurt in the second game. I can't remember. I think like 3 people got hurt. Mm-hmm. And then that was it. They never had another one.
Yeah.
I was always intrigued by it.
I
The
think it's gonna be
concept
fun.
of, because you see it with retired tennis players play all the
Yeah.
time. Like
And-
Borg and McEnroe are probably playing right now somewhere in Dubai for a paycheck.
Yeah, why not? I think it's a great concept. It's definitely gonna be fun. I think and I know our guys are gonna play harder than McEnroe and
Right.
and them dudes. Our guys are still hungry, and they still in the 3-on-3 half court setting. These dudes are ferocious, and this game is fast. We got a 14-second shot clock, and man, once you clear that ball, you got to go.
So it's shorter court?
Half court,
Half court.
3-on-3.
Where do you have to clear it?
You have to clear behind the 3-point line.
Okay.
So the 3-point line goes all the way around the key, and you can
Is there
clear from
drug
the side.
testing or drugs encouraged?
No drug testing, no drugs encouraged.
No drug testing. That should be part of yourself.
Hey, we'll grow. I mean, we got to get people, to see how cool and fun.
Yeah.
After seeing a few games and seeing how hard they go, and to be honest, it's hard to play a bad 3-on-3 basketball game.
Yeah.
It's actually a fun game to watch and play. So we just feel like people got to put eyes on this, and once they see it, they gonna want more.
In 2012, I was at the Olympics, and it drove me crazy that we only had one basketball event, and yet volleyball had volleyball and beach volleyball.
Yeah,
It's like, how the fuck does volleyball have twice as many events as basketball?
exactly.
And I was saying they should have a 3-on-3 Olympic basketball. That should be an event. And
That's
it's
actu-
like we could have the amateurs play in the team event, and then the 3-on-3 will just be like LeBron, Kyrie, and whatever. I'm really excited to see how this goes because I'm with you. I love 3-on-3.
Without a
3-on-3
doubt.
is the purest form of basketball.
Yeah, and it's the most played form
Yeah.
of team basketball. Everybody, when they go play, you expect to get a 3-on-3 game. You rarely expect to get a full court 5-on-5 game. So to me, I think it's just been sitting there waiting for a pro league. And what's cool, you talk about the Olympics. In 2020, they're considering making it an actual Olympic game. 3-on-3?
3-on-3? Seriously?
So because in Asia, 3-on-3 in China it sells out stadiums where full court only sells out arenas. So it's a big untapped market out there, and we felt like our players, have marquee names.
So you're using all ex-NBA players, right?
All ex-NBA players.
Okay.
You have to be at least 30 and over, and you've had to play in the NBA.
Have you had to play in the NBA for like a year, 2 years, or it just doesn't matter? It could be 10 days.
It doesn't matter because we have a combine and a draft. So if the guys want you, they're gonna pick you.
Gotcha.
So if they don't want you, you're not gonna get picked. And we had our draft in Las Vegas. We had a combine, and some guys that I was hoping that got picked, but they just didn't get drafted.
Who is the biggest name? Iverson.
And then we got Chauncey Billups. We got White Chocolate. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, White Chocolate's still good.
Oh,
I've seen YouTube clips of him like in the last year where he still looked like White Chocolate.
A lot of these guys, man, when you see them play half court 3-on-3, it's no drop off than what you used to seeing them playing full court 82 games in the NBA.
You couldn't get Shaq in shape for this?
I think some guys are gonna sit back and watch for a year.
Yeah.
But I think some guys are getting in shape. I saw Shaq playing.
He's got that fucked up big toe I saw.
Man, but
that thing is
that
thing
right
is like pointing at a red angle, and it's 4 times
they need
the
to
size.
Put that,
Jesus,
when he died, they're gonna put his foot in the museum.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So, but I still think in the 3-on-3 half court setting, he'd be a beast if he dropped a few lbs.
So how many songs do you have to write to challenge Jordan's manhood before he decides to be in this? I would say a whole album.
No, Jordan said, he said, man, this is what he told my man Roger. Man, I love it, but I'm an owner. I can't play. So he was even thinking about it.
Well, he's the most competitive basketball player of all time. He at least had to size it up like the Terminator.
Yeah.
He is.
I know he could do it if he wanted to.
I wonder if this will be like the senior tour where in senior tour in golf, you hit 50. It's like the guys who are 50, 51, 52 have the most impact.
Mm-hmm.
So in this, I wonder if it's the guys that are 1, 2, 3 years out of the league that will be the best equipped.
Probably so. And, we feel like it's going to grow. And we feel like we're going to attract, players that are, fresh out the league. We still got, dream people in our head like the KGs and the Paul Pierces of the world. We think they're going to take a look at us hopefully this year and say, you know what, I got the itch. I'm ready to play.
Well, Paul Pierce has that old man pickup game. He could probably be in this thing for 25 years.
Without a doubt. They can definitely come into this
jerky.
league and prolong.
You could wheel him out in a wheelchair for each game.
No, I don't think he need that. But to me, it's gonna be fun just to see these guys battling again. That's what it's all about is having fun in the summer.
How are you doing the team names?
We picked the names. We got the 3-headed monsters. We got Trilogy.
Yeah.
Killer Threes. We got the Ball Hogs. We got Ghost Ballers. Threes Company. Tri-State. So we got a few.
So in 2 years that'll be Miller Lite, Patron,
hopefully. Hopefully,
Adidas.
we got room for a patch if any of the sponsors want to jump on into this. But we feel like, this year it's all about, a lot of people are curious, but we setting the stage to be able to be around for year after year.
How long do the games go till? Is there a time limit or is there a score?
You go to 60. First to 60 win.
First to 60. I like it.
Halftime at 30.
Okay.
Have a brief little
2s and 3s, obviously. 2s,
3s, and 4s. We got a 4-point circle.
Okay.
So it's cool. We got 3 4-point circles, and it's a 30-foot shot. Guys hitting them 25% of the time.
And where do we see these games?
Oh, you're gonna see them on FS1. Monday Night Basketball. This summer.
Nice.
Yeah,
when does that start?
That starts June 26th. Our first game is June 25th in Brooklyn, and games air the next day on FS1.
Are you the commissioner?
No, I'm just a founder.
Roger Mason is the commissioner?
Yeah, Roger Mason Jr.
So you're founder.
Yeah.
So you're like the James Naismith of 3-ball.
No, he's an inventor. I'm just I guess the Colonel Sanders of
Colonel Sanders. All right.
I'm just capitalizing.
I'm really
on
excited to see how this
a
plays
great
out.
thing. Yeah, me too, man. It's gonna be fun.
How many Celtics?
We got Scalabrini. He's so we got the white mamba.
Yeah. He'll be
he-
a good ambassador too. He's funny. He's become a really important media guy in Boston too. He's good at it. He's good
and
at
he
selling
plays
stuff.
for the Ball Hogs, which
Yeah.
their colors are green and white and gold. So I think the Boston fans will find a nice little synergy there.
Well, if you get KG, I think you'd find even more synergy. You gotta start challenging him too.
We want KG. We want
KG, Paul, and Rondo.
my God.
Let's bring them back together.
Let's do it. We want Tim
Perk
Duncan. We know
coming
you're
off
out
the
there
bench.
bored. Tim, you tired of swimming. Come on and play for the big three.
Tim's definitely not listening to this.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even think Tim knows what the
Somebody
internet
know
is.
Tim.
Yeah,
Somebody know where Tim is. Just catch him. He probably climbing a banana tree. You know what I mean? Somewhere in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
So
Tell Tim what the
Tell
internet
Tim
is
what
and
we
tell
doing.
him what a podcast is, and then
Yeah.
he'll listen to this. Well, I'm excited. The Big Three, June 25th or 26th?
June 25th, we play Barclays. But
Yeah.
we're going to be all over the country. So you should go to big3.com if you want tickets. Ticketmaster. Like I said, we got 48 of your favorite players coming into one arena. 4 games, 1 ticket. It's a fun day. And we'll be here at the Staples Center.
All right.
And you got to come check us out.
I will. I promise you I'll be there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you're on iTunes.
Yeah, definitely.
Your movie's on HBO 7 hours a day on one of the 7 different things.
Pretty much.
Yeah. What else? Anything?
Oh,
Triple
man.
X 2? I saw it on an airplane. I thought it was good.
What? Triple X?
I like the second Triple X movie. You
Yeah, it
made
was
a little
pretty cool.
appearance at the end.
It was pretty cool.
I'm a Triple X fan.
Yeah,
I'm a
they're great
supporter of the
movies.
franchise.
They great movies, man.
Yeah.
I mean, great action. I like that over the top action too. When it's done well.
Yeah. All right. Ice Cube, thank you.
Hey man, thanks for having me, Bill.
All right, that's it for the BS podcast. Thanks to Capital One. They created the CreditWise app so you can check your credit score anytime you want right in the app. It's free to everyone, so download CreditWise today. Availability depends on presence of credit history from TransUnion. CreditWise is offered by Capital One Bank, USA, N.W.A. And thanks again to Proper Cloth. Finding a dress shirt that fits is hard. Ordering a custom fit shirt has never been easier thanks to Proper Cloth. Their custom shirts start from $85. High quality shirts made from premium Italian and Japanese fabrics. They even guarantee a perfect fit. Remix are free. Stop wearing shirts that don't fit. Start looking your best. Go to propercloth.com/BS. Enter gift code BS to save $20 on your first shirt. Don't forget to go to theringer.com for all of our NBA finals previews, stories, features, all that stuff. Roger Sherman's Bachelorette recap, which is fantastic, and all the other great stuff we have on The Ringer. Don't forget about Larry Wilmar's new podcast, Cousin Sal's new podcast, and all of our other great podcasts, including The Ringer NBA Show, which has a big breakdown of the finals, and also GM Street on the Ringer NFL Show with Tate and Mike Lombardi. All of those on our network. You can find them on theringer.com. We'll be back on Friday with another BS podcast. Until then.
I wanna see